Okay, so you know how some dogs, they just like live for the thrill of the escape?
Oh, yeah, I know those dogs.
I swear some of them, like, consider a fence a personal challenge.
Definitely a puzzle to solve.
Yeah. So this spot on GPS dog fence, it's kind of a game changer, right? I mean, ditching the whole like posts and digging and all that for just a virtual boundary.
Yeah, it's definitely a really different approach.
Yeah. And like, it's all app-based and GPS, no wires, super high tech. And like, today we are diving deep on the spot on GPS fence. And we got a ton of info, articles, specs, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
So like, for anyone out there with a dog who thinks fences are optional, this is for you.
Definitely.
Okay, so first up, the accuracy, right? It's got to be spot on, no pun intended,
Yeah.
especially like, if you've got a big property. How does SpotOn actually make that happen?
So, okay, most GPS, right, they use a handful, like maybe a dozen satellites, right?
Yeah, yeah.
SpotOn, though, it connects to, get this, 128 satellites.
Wow, that's a lot of satellites.
Right. And then on top of that, it uses something called a dual feed antenna, which like helps it grab onto those signals even better, even in like, the woods, hills, places where normal GPS might like freak out a little.
Okay, so even if you've got like acres and acres, it's still super precise. So
Yeah.
no worries about your dog like accidentally ending up in the neighbor's pool because the boundary was off by a few feet.
Exactly. Yeah, it's way more reliable than, trying to build a fence across like rough terrain or a huge property. I mean, can you imagine the cost of that?
Yeah, forget the cost, the time, the hassle, the permits. I mean, some places it's just not even an option. So this is a pretty elegant solution, huh?
Definitely.
Okay, but let's be real. Dogs, they aren't exactly tech wizards.
Mm-hmm.
What's the training like for this? Can any dog learn it?
Well, it's not like they're swiping right or anything.
Right.
But the system's clever. It uses these warning tones. Like, as your dog gets closer to the boundary, the tones get, like, more intense. It takes about 2 weeks for them to make the connection.
Okay, not too bad.
And get this, they offer a one-on-one session with a real live trainer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's included. They walk you through everything, give you tips, and, like, tailor it to your dog's personality and breed.
That's a pretty awesome bonus, especially for first-timers with this kind of tech.
Totally.
Okay, now this next one, this is like total sci-fi stuff. Off-grid mode. It's like, what? Your dog could be fenced in even with no cell service. Like, how is that even possible?
It's pretty cool. So you pre-map the area, right? Like when you do have a connection.
Okay.
And then get this, the collar itself, it stores that map data.
What?
Yeah. So even if you're out in the boonies, no cell towers, no internet, it's still using GPS to track your dog against that saved boundary.
That is so cool. So like camping, hiking, going off the grid, you're still covered. I mean, that opens up a ton of possibilities.
Definitely.
Okay, so there's also like this optional subscription. What's the deal with that? Is it worth it?
Okay, so for folks who want like the extra bells and whistles, this is where it's at. Real-time tracking, right? So you can see your dog on a map right from your phone anytime.
Oh, nice.
And it also has these escape alerts. So like if your dog somehow like busts through the virtual boundary, boom, you get a notification on your phone.
So you can round them up before they go on some epic adventure.
Exactly. And there's also a remote recall feature.
So you can like call them back with the collar.
Yeah, and this is nice. Like for nighttime, there's a little light built right into the collar so you can see your dog even when it's dark.
Okay, so safety, convenience, peace of mind. Got it.
Yeah.
But dogs, let's be honest, they're not exactly known for being delicate little flowers.
How does this thing hold up in the real world? Like rain, mud, the occasional accidental swim.
Well, firstly, it's IP67 waterproof.
Okay, so that's
Like seriously waterproof.
Yeah.
Rain, puddles, even a quick dunk, it's all good.
okay. Good to know.
And the collar itself, it's like built tough, it's made for active dogs.
Mm.
Okay, so it sounds like they've thought of pretty much everything, huh?
Pretty much.
I mean, it's accurate, it's trainable, it's portable, it's tough. It's kind of amazing to see how tech is solving these, like, classic dog owner problems. So, like, with all this in mind, do you think these GPS fences, are they, like, the future? I mean, will we all be ditching the old school fences soon? It does seem like, the way to go for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's definitely a compelling option, that's for sure. I mean, it's so flexible and you get so much control. It's hard to beat that.
Well, on that note, we'll leave everyone to ponder that. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.